This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Morning to everyone. Good morning to you all. Welcome to DBL. Let's start because it was a crazy, crazy scene of mass looting last night in Philadelphia. But first, a warning to our viewers. Actually, some may find this content disturbing. So video shows a group of masked looters going from store to store as police try to catch them. Police said a group of around 100 juveniles were there, and they were able to arrest around 15 to 20 people. Some wore what appear to be Halloween masks, and one woman live streamed the entire thing on Instagram and then herself was later arrested. Meantime, Target announced they're closing 9 stores across 4 states, all because of theft and threats to the safety of store employees. So what do you all think of this? What's really behind this surge in retail? We do know that it's gone up from $112.1 billion. It's up from $93.9 billion in losses in 2021. Jeff, tell me what you're thinking when you see these images.
I'd like to see the stats from 5 years ago, as opposed, because I think this is a problem the last 3 or 4 years.
Gotcha.
I'd like to see what it was 5 years ago. It's becoming so brazen that people film themselves while they do it. That's how there's such a lack of repercussions for doing this, right? People think this might be a political stance. How about it's right or wrong? People are breaking into stores, they're trashing things. As a worker, you're not even allowed to stop them. You could be prosecuted if you try to stop someone breaking into your own store. If you're a good citizen, you could be arrested for trying to stop people like that. We're becoming the purge slowly, and we're just turning our back on it. It's okay, it's not a big deal. It's only went up a couple $2 billion. Well, let me see those numbers from 5 years ago. Number one, I'll let you handle this, Al, because I want to just keep going. But it's like, I don't understand why people just throw their arms up and they're like, it's okay. It's part of where we are in culture right now in society.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm going to read this quote because it's important because it speaks to what you're saying. From CNN, this is saying one reason police believe that the theft is surging is that under new criminal justice reform laws and policies, grand theft is a crime that judges can no longer jail a person or even require bail out, no matter how many times the same individual is caught. Is it these laxer, there's no deterrent there?
I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's like a determining factor. I think we have to also understand that, you know, that class plays a part in this as well. When we talk about getting iPhones or getting a new pair of shoes, we don't say, boy, if Jordan could just get enough money together to get a phone. There are parts of this country, a lot of parts of this country, where the idea of getting an iPhone or having something new, having a flat screen is so unreachable that the idea of walking through shattered glass to get it isn't crazy to you. And you have to think about the mentality that you would have to do that. Not making excuses. I just think that if we step back and humanize, like, why somebody would be doing this. Would Lawson be down there? Would Elijah be down there? There's a reason. Because they come from stable homes. When you come from a place where you have nothing, the idea of going to jail isn't that scary.
Even though now they might not even be going to jail because of these laxer reform laws. This
is something I did want to throw at you guys. You know, it just, you know, for these billion-dollar companies to automatically say, like, we're shutting down shop, I wonder if there's a different reason for that. Because theft has been going on for a long time, and I don't know if they had one more incident and we're out kind of thing, but this one incident spurred billion-dollar corporations all over the place to automatically shut down. We weren't seeing this when people were harassing Target employees over the unisex non-binary. You know, I see theft all the time when I'm in the store. The other day I was in the makeup store with Sarah, and I was like, there was a person that was on drugs stealing, and the manager was like, oh, he comes all the time. I don't know what to do, Jeff, and I think we've tried jailing them. The jails overflow. I don't know what to do. What is to be done?
I think you need repercussions, and then go back to what you said. I get the status thing like that.
But I don't
think this plays a part. It might in some circumstances, but we're not talking about going out and getting a loaf of bread for your family and stealing it because you can't afford it. These people are filming themselves on their iPhone while they do it. Okay, I think it's becoming a cultural thing. And to be quite honest with you, why wouldn't you do it? Why would you? There are no repercussions. You could go anywhere you want. People steal right in front of you. You could do this in film videos, and there are no repercussions. You will not go to prison. They will let you walk free. So why not? If things are just the slightest rough, which shows no determination whatsoever in life, if things are a little rough, why not just go steal everything? And as far as theft in the past, maybe corporations are saying, hey, you know what? There's always been theft. It's getting to a point where we're out of control, and we're gonna have to really buy into our stores now to lock everything down so we don't lose all of our supply. So maybe it's a bigger issue that if no one's gonna do anything, meaning the government, they're not going to put money to put everything behind a glass case or a case that you can't get into to get razors.
Right.
Well,
let me
that's
ask
a lot
you
of
this.
money.
Let me ask you this. External theft accounted for 36.15% of retail theft, but internal employee theft alone accounted for 28.85%. Which isn't that amount of a difference. So is this, I'm not saying it's political, being blown up in some ways because it's only in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Oakland, Houston, New York, and Seattle, the 5 places most affected. Is this becoming much more of a cultural thing because we're playing it up to show that it is the purge when it is an issue, but it's not such a big issue?
I think if you start doing that, everything becomes political because those are very democratic cities that you've just mentioned, and they're lax on everything, crime, drugs, everything else. And I think when you do things like that, then it becomes a political issue. But when do people stop leaning into politics and saying, I like what my Seattle's doing, I like what's happening in San Francisco, and say, I don't want this happening in my town. My grandparents grew up here. My grandparents came here on a boat, and this is where they landed. And this is part of this. I want to have some pride in my city instead of just let people trash it, Jeff, like Venice Beach or San Francisco.
I think you hit it on the head. And I don't know. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was like, we now live in a world where I can say I don't have one friend that lives in San Francisco. And what I meant by that is we now live in a world where major cities, it's impossible for regular people to live there. Tori's the only person I know that's actually from D.C., except the black folks that grew up there. The idea of you living even in Brooklyn or Harlem is almost impossible.
It's out of reach.
So when you have a city like San Francisco, where the haves and have-nots, where you and I and Tori couldn't get together, get a house, get the worst house there, what happens is you create such a dichotomy between the classes that people are grabbing for whatever they can because they know the idea of them ever living or being a part of this community is gone. If you're going to eat in that diner, you're not going to smash that window. But if the idea of you ever going in that store and spending money that you've earned is so ludicrous, it might as well be you going to the moon, what do you care?
And that's you made a great point, and I think that might be part of the motivation. But
what do you mean?
I'm never going to get to this status. Those people have so much, and I'm never going to get there. Why not just take it from them? And that instead of having a sense of this is my community, we all live here, right? I think you hit it. Then you're onto something there for sure.
Interesting. Let us know. Let us know what you guys think at the YouTube. We're going to talk in the break, so if you want to join the chat, please do. Coming up on DBL, Jack Osbourne is telling us what it was like doing grueling challenges on the Special Forces reality competition show, and the all hype around Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift continues. What did Travis say about her coming to watch his game?
Make all those points again at noon. They were all smart, good points.
Definitely.
I
mean, there's
They were good.
so
I
much.
thought that was good. That was good. Yeah. But the end part was really good, I think, because
Talk more about that.
So even even just living in LA, right? I grew up just pretty basic, right? Average kid. I never had everything I wanted. Like you get a new pair of shoes when you go back to school, things like that. So just average kid, great life, but when you start to lose, like when I moved to California and didn't have as much and couldn't really afford, like sometimes my light went off and I was like, you get in a mental state where you're kind of cornered in, like a caged in. And when you get to that point, it's almost like, listen, I'm not going to be prosecuted for these crimes. I'm not going to do it. Why not? This is all these people in society are kind of going to the bathroom on me, And it's like, I'm gonna do what I need to do to survive, and I do get that mentality. Not to that extent that I ever did anything like that, but I do get trying to be cornered in society, and it's like, you know what? I don't care about you guys. I'm gonna do my thing and get mine.
Because you feel like that society's abandoned you, and it's like feeling like you all have a place somewhere, and that this is our place.
And there's dignity in that. There's
dignity in your neighborhood.
Totally.
That's lost because there used to be dignity even in poor neighborhoods.
That's
but now
right.
what happens is once those neighborhoods get poor enough, now here comes a Starbucks on the
I was
corner,
gonna say, the
and the old lady that
gentrification,
lived
right.
upstairs for 30 years is gone.
Right.
And now there's a boutique dress downstairs
Right.
that's
A Whole Foods is moving
$800.
in.
And it makes you feel connected and pushed out because that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And when you feel disconnected, you're going to act like that.
Yeah,
Welcome back to DBL. Travis Kelce talking about his rumored romance with Taylor Swift on his podcast with his brother Jason. Travis spoke all about all the attention he's getting ever since he was seen leaving Arrowhead Stadium with Taylor and then driving off in his convertible. Let's take a look.
I did this to myself, Jason. I know this. I just thought it was awesome how everybody in the suite had nothing but great things to say about her. You know, the friends and family. She looked amazing. Everybody was talking about her in great light. And on top of that, the day went perfect for Chiefs fans, of course. We script it all, ladies and gentlemen. But to see the slow motion chest bumps, to see the high fives with mom, to see how, you know, Chiefs Kingdom was all excited that she was there. Was absolutely hysterical. It was definitely a game I'll remember. That's for damn sure. And then we just slid off in the getaway car at the end.
If you didn't know, Getaway Car, that's a song by Taylor. Meantime, crafters are going crazy, posting Travis and Taylor inspired merchandise on Etsy, like T-shirts, even luggage. But some are
What does
calling-
that mean?
What?
Loving him was red.
Oh, Loving Him Was Red. It's a song.
Oh.
Sorry.
Next time, just say it.
Yeah, I should have just said it's a song.
I appreciate the effort.
But some are calling this what we call a promance. Okay, or professional romance to boost sales because Taylor typically keeps her real relationships out of the public eye. I've been kind of suggesting this. She has her concert coming up. She has her 1989 album coming out with her version. He wore the 1989 merchandise. With her, everything is scripted. He even said everything was scripted.
he was being sarcastic.
Yeah, but there's kind of a projection there. Is this just a script or is it real? Do you guys really think they're in love? Have they even kissed?
I think there's something there. I
You
don't think it's
do?
scripted. You know what? I've learned from being in this business long enough that the media takes things and runs with it.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
couldn't be further from the truth. It might just be simple enough as they did want to hook up and he did want to see what she would be like. I don't know if he was ready for all this fame. I think he is someone that could handle all that.
Totally
Because
agree.
this is a new level of fame for Travis
he's
Kelce.
good at
and
it.
he's super famous. But I think he could embrace it. And I think Taylor needs someone like that kind of doesn't want to shy away from that. So I do think there is some love and relationship there. I'm just still sad that so many people tuned into an NFL game to watch
24 million.
Yeah. And it was against my Chicago Bears getting crushed.
Hey.
So I can't wait till they break up and Taylor Swift fans are crushed like I was that day.
Who's the quarterback for your Bears?
Justin Fields. Buckeyes.
How do you
Ohio
feel
State.
about this guy?
I mean, I don't think we need to get into football
Yes.
here and
Okay,
things
just
like. I'm going
asking.
to throw it back at you because
Okay.
this is kind of your arena here.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. What I think. If you don't know about Joe Alwyn, he was the one she was with for 6 years. Apparently, he didn't like the whole show part of Taylor. He liked the Pandemic, Evermore, I'm a folk song, Wanderer in the Woods. And when she did the Eras tour, that girl commands the stage. I mean, she takes stadiums. So I agree with you completely. She needs someone that wants that finds that attractive, that isn't scared of that. ASAP Rocky does it really well with Rihanna. And he likes to sit back and watch, and then she can sit back and watch him. So I
That's
hope.
a great analogy because ASAP is famous.
Super
famous
famous
in his own
and well regarded, right?
Yeah, and I mean Travis Kelce, it's crazy. That's how famous Taylor Swift is.
Yeah.
You say this is a whole new level of fame. He's got 2 or 3 Super Bowl chips.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I mean, to give some credence to the fact that this might be real, he's been talking about her. They've got him on
For a long
6,
time.
7, 8 years. So maybe he just got his dream girl.
You're right. And there is him asking, what's your favorite crush? And a long time ago, he went T-Swift. So you're absolutely right.
All
I don't know
right.
it. Maybe it's real. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Jack Osbourne. He's telling us what it was like taking on the world's toughest test on the reality competition Special Forces.
the beams, get in position.
I was in high school when 9/11 happened, and I wanted to join the Army. I wanted to be a Ranger. And then we did the Osbournes, and it kind of sidetracked that.
Keep it coming, keep it coming.
I'm here to do the work, so bring it.
Touch your toes. Don't come straight up. Good.
Oh my God. Welcome back to DBL. Whether it's the most extreme survival challenges or the darkest pits of the paranormal, Jack Osbourne, has seen it all and come out on the other side. Earlier, we spoke with him about his latest adventure on the new season of Special Forces World's Toughest Test. Take a look.
Please welcome to the show, Jack Osbourne.
Yes. Hello, Jack. First, we want to say a big congratulations and mazel tov on tying the knot recently.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, look how sweet y'all look. That's beautiful. I do want to get to the new season of Special Forces, which is the ultimate physical and mental test. It didn't look that difficult. So I'm just kidding. How difficult was it really? Was it awful?
You know, you said it right there, physical and mental. It was so much more mental than physical because they keep you on edge the entire time. The DS, the cadre who are in charge of us, are so mean. They just beat you down constantly. I think I was called every name under the sun. But I think it was my good 80s parenting that, from my folks that got through it.
That's right. It makes you tougher. Jack, yep. I'm such a big fan. I watched all your stuff, and I love your sense of adventure. But it is kind of surreal seeing you on a show with Tom Sandoval. What was your first impression of the overall cast?
I was really excited to meet everyone. We got on the bus, and they didn't show it in the show, but I couldn't see anyone's faces because, like, a lot of people wearing hats, whatever. And so we get on the bus, and Tom had like a ski mask on, and he takes it off and he introduces himself, and I just screamed out, "Oh, we got a Scandoval here!" And then I felt really bad because I could just see he was like, "Oh."
He's like, even Jack knows about it.
Yeah, right. Unreal. That is unreal. Okay, so you recently mentioned your mom is like a car and needs to be brought back into the shop every few thousand miles. So does it bother you that she still goes under the knife, or do you support her?
I support her. Listen, if my mom is very tasteful with it. I think there are some people that I do think go a little crazy. Mm-hmm. But it's funny. Like, I said that comment, and it went everywhere. But that's what she says to me every time. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "It's my it's my 3-year tune-up."
Okay, so the Osbournes never missed an episode. Loved it. It was such a groundbreaking show, and you've all returned to do the Osbournes podcast again this month. How is everyone different since we used to watch the MTV version?
I'd like to think we're all, older and wiser and, come to our senses. But, I think we're just older versions of our old self. There's a lot of, smack talk and, riffing, but it's fun. It's just been, it's actually been really enjoyable to put together and do and, like, sit there and have, like, a discussion about things that, like, we kind of normally wouldn't discuss in such a structured way. So I don't know, it's been interesting.
It's refreshing.
I'm over here looking at Jeff, our co-host, has a podcast with his wife, and you were shaking your head because it is good to talk about these things.
It's kind of therapeutic in some sort of way, right? You talk about things that you normally wouldn't, yeah.
100%, yeah. Like, I mean, this week's episode, we're talking about, like, secret societies and Illuminati and stuff. Ooh. And like that's stuff that if I ever bring up with my parents, they kind of roll their eyes, but because we're doing a podcast, they're kind of forced to engage.
Exactly.
I mean, we got to stay on the podcast topic because you have a new podcast called Ghosts and Grit, and you've done now several paranormal shows at this point. So tell us, what's the freakiest thing you've ever seen?
Man, I've had things where like doors have opened up in front of me. I've heard like disembodied voices. I've had flashlights turn on that are sat on the ground. I've had some pretty wild things, and we get into it. For the most part in the podcast, it's more about me, with guests talking about it and stuff. And the stuff that happened to my mom was pretty wild.
What? Wait, that's your mom? That's Sharon passed out in the chair? That's terrifying. What happened to her?
We don't know. We were doing a ghost hunt, and she literally passed out for about 20 minutes.
Oh my
In
gosh.
the hospital, they ran every test imaginable, and they found nothing wrong with her. But when you see the footage, it's some of the freakiest stuff ever.
Oh my
You
God.
still continue to ghost hunt after that moment?
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
I will. I just don't bring her anymore. She's too much of a liability.
Oh my gosh.
Keep her out. That's
Yeah, Jack, we could talk to you for hours.
Good
Thank you so
Lord.
much for joining us today. DBL Nation, check out Jack on the new season of Special Forces World's Toughest Test starting this week on Fox. And you can't miss his new podcast, Ghosts and Grit, premiering Friday, October 13th. How appropriate, wherever you get your podcasts. Congratulations, Jack. Great to see you.
very exciting.
Congrats on everything.
Thanks, buddy.
Welcome back. Fall is a great time to check your tires and see if you need new ones before winter weather starts. That's today's Auto Alert, sponsored by Oxcar Care. Oh, where's my cool music? First up, check the treadwear bars. As these bars become even with the top of the tread, it's likely time for new tires. Next, all tires deflate slowly over time, but if your tires continually lose air, it may be time to get them replaced. Lastly, go to prolonging the life of your tires and reduce uneven wear. Consider them rotated every 5,000 miles. Oxcar Care is dedicated to you, to providing you with an amazing auto protection plan experience that works with your budget. If you're looking for better car care, give them a call at 1-800-946-5040. I miss my marimba.
I think that's a different ad.
No, that's Oxcar, isn't it? Before we go, we've got a viral video for you. A bear devoured some takeout in front of a mother and her son in Mexico. Now, the mom calmly shielded her son's eyes, trying to keep him calm as the bear ate all of their food. People are really crediting the mother for the mom for staying so calm. No one was hurt, and the bear got quite the tasty treat. I just wonder who the cameraman was.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that kid, like how incredibly well disciplined. Like that kid kind of knew, like grandma and ma has me, and it's like there's something communicated, like don't move.
We have different survival tactics, because I would have poked that bear in the eye and ran. Yeah.
Don't they say like a black bear, keep it down?
Bear. Get out of there.
I know, because the mama bear's nearby.
Eating.
I know.
Yeah, but the mom's got to be close.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Get out of there.